Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to get started with the July 9th Phase 2 Advisory Board meeting. Start with roll call. Make sure we have quorum. Stephen? Here. Oh. Lieutenant Britt? Here. Diane? Diane, are you on the phone?
Here.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Jay? Steve? Lisa?
Here.
Sherry? Sherry?
Sherry is here.
Okay. And Sergeant Joseph?
I'm here.
All right. Thank you. So we have four. We'll start then with the agenda, and the first item is the reading of the minutes. Rachel?
Good afternoon, everybody. The last meeting was held on June 11th. The April 9th meeting minutes were reviewed and approved. Aileen Calvo presented an IBB update for Phase 2. There was no stakeholder outreach at the meeting. There was a brief policy decision review that began on page 1 with Portal 08 and ended on page 2 with Portal 11 and a dealer services item. Kristen Green presented a Phase 1 and Phase 2 financial review. Nathan Johnson went over Phase 2 project update. Greg Benner presented a Phase 2 organizational change management update. Coral Griggs presented an overview of Phase 2 communications plan. There is a brief Q&A at the bottom of page 2 and ended on page 3. And the meeting was adjourned at 2:47 p.m. and at the bottom of page 3 you can see the items that were distributed in a meeting packet prior to the meeting.
Okay. Are there any corrections to the meeting minutes? If none? Okay, second. Is there a second? A second. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, so the meetings will be adopted and approved. All right, now we have the IBB update. Ellen?
Hello, everyone. So this will be covering the May report as of June 15th. So as you can see from the overview, we did not review any additional facets this month and no new deficiencies were identified. We've seen an improvement in the schedule performance index. It's now at a 0.949 with only 32 out of the 1,400 tasks late. We, as we said, we did not review any new facets, so still have the 6 that are gray, and so those are still yet to be reviewed throughout the course of the project. The indicators are where we would expect them to be. CPI is at a 1.0, so no concerns there. And that you can see that dot is trending back towards the center, which is where we like to see it. Also, if you go back to the bow wave, you can see that's getting smaller progressively, so we are lessening the amount of hours that were planned that were not completed. And then for the last one would be the schedule. Yeah, there we go. It's down to 191 days forecasted to be late rather than out where the green markers were from last month. And the schedule quality also continues to be very high quality, 96.1. Any questions? Oh, I did want to give a quick update because we were tracking the Uniface program or process improvement. We did speak and get some information from the program team, and they have made progress in the Uniface tasks as well as are looking at re-estimating that effort and putting together change requests for that. So just wanted to give an update on that.
All right.
Is that with the legacy code?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Stakeholder outreach update. Same as kind of what I have for Phase 1. As I mentioned during the Phase 1 advisory board meeting, the team went, a few of us over to the Department of Revenue year, rather than closing on Tuesday, we're gonna stay open until Wednesday afternoon and give more folks the opportunity to have a hands-on with the system. And while we're there, address not only phase 1, but phase 2 items as well. Then the all-hands meeting, Jessica, give an update?
Sure, so every quarter or so, we have a meeting with all of the people that are on our teams, the SMEs that regularly attend and call in. And it's just kind of a checkpoint to see where the team is at and then kind of give them information about what's happening across the other teams. So that'll be, it's been scheduled for 2 weeks from now.
And last thing on the stakeholder outreach, we have been working to schedule meetings with some additional rental car companies. We've met with one, we're meeting with 2 others. Those meetings will be in the next couple months due to their schedules not being able to meet. So we're going to meet with them and just kind of go over some things that we have planned for phase 2 and, of course, get their feedback. Financial review, Janice?
Good afternoon. This is the financial report as of June 30th, closing out the 18-19 fiscal year project. For 18-19, our budget was 7.5, and as you see on the phase 1 total project for LBR for this year, 2019-2020, it's 2.3 million. Our budget for the 18-19 again is 7.536, and our actuals ended up being 7.535,357. A little bit short. Our fiscal year to date has a 0.01% variance. Our month to date for June had a 0.08% variance, so our remaining funds for the entire fiscal year were $644. For phase 2, our fiscal year budget for 18-19 was roughly $5 million. Our fiscal year budget for this upcoming year is 13.7. So for this last fiscal year, the 5,037, our actuals were 5,035,077, which left us a balance of $1,923, or 0.04% variance in the fiscal year. And then this next year, well, this current year that we're already in, for July through June, we have a very large balance for LBR request, which includes IFTA IRP and some other systems, as well as a lot of software purchases, so that's why that dollar amount, you see such a swing from the 5 million to 13 million, plus we're starting development. So, are there any questions on the closeout of 18-19 or upcoming?
Okay, and I apologize, I did skip an item in the agenda. So, policy, this decision review, I think there's only a couple items that we need to give an update on, just, which I think in some cases may not be an update or waiting on ESC. So what's first on the list?
I am, and that's true. So for items, Portal 8, which was the issuance of permanent decals with proper registrations, as well as Portal 11, the team wanting to get legislative change to see if we could issue permanent plates to the tribes. And for the next item that continues on the next page, we did get a final decision from ESC, but we're waiting to do some follow-up on those items. So we could probably close them from this list. They did decide that we were going to try to move forward. Some of those items require legislative changes, and a few others just required some more discussions internally to see how we wanted to proceed forward. So we're still waiting for some follow-up with the business.
The Dealer Services, we presented last month about the recommendation from the Dealer Services team to be able to have the tax collectors to cancel the tags if they're turned in there. And we got a favorable review from the board, and we appreciate that. We haven't had an opportunity to present it to ESC yet. We're planning on presenting it at the next meeting, and we have your comments, Lisa. And we'll present it at the next meeting. Hopefully we'll be able to close this out. Any questions?
Okay.
I don't know if I said this then or not, but if we're gonna hold those dealers to
we're factoring in being able to put how many they can have in the system, and if their policies change, that would change.
I have a question. Are they, you're talking about cancellations in Orion? Is that what we're talking?
This is just for their dealer plates that they have, they put on the back of the car.
Is that,
Test
is that,
drives.
right, is that for, time period within the allotted, year? Or is that for cancellation, or is that after that tag is?
This is during the time frame where the license, the plate is still valid,
Okay,
but for whatever reason, maybe they canceled their policy or they modified their policy where they're no longer eligible to have as many plates as they currently have, they would be able to cancel those plates.
They might close one of their lots and want to cancel all the plates associated with it.
right.
And that way it'll lower the insurance they have to.
Also, the plate's been reported stolen, they would have the
Yeah.
ability to go into the tax collector's office and cancel it, where currently now they cannot.
Questions?
Alicia,
Yes?
this is Diane. Would that include, are they recommending it includes when a dealer decides to go out of business, that they would take the dealer plates to the tax collector's office for cancellation?
Any reason that you would want to surrender that plate, they would have the option of going to the tax collector office, in addition to continuing to go to the regional office. This is just an additional venue for them to be able to surrender those plates.
Okay, I think I would have some concern if a dealer is going out of business, that they would walk into a tax collector's office to surrender the plate for that particular reason, only because dealer services, when a dealer goes out of business, has additional documentation the dealer is required to submit when they go out of business. And I'm afraid or concerned that if a dealer goes out of business and goes in the tax collector's office and says, here's my dealer plates, I'm going out of business, they get canceled, they may not contact the regional office with their additional documentation. That would be my concern.
I'll document that. Diane, one of the things I will tell you that there will be criteria that go along with receiving those plates. It won't be just as simple as you just drop the plates off and then you're one and done. But we certainly will discuss this with the team and see if they want to have a caveat for when. I can tell you the main focus when this was recommended was for those cases where the plate was lost, stolen, or the insurance
Right.
lapsed.
Right,
So-
and that's understandable.
Okay.
That makes sense.
We'll certainly,
Okay.
I'll be able to talk with our team tomorrow, which is before ESC, so we'll make sure that is clear, so that, when ESC makes their decision, they're making it based on the most current information.
Diane,
Okay, thank you.
when they
Yeah.
do that, do you usually know that they're going out of business before they would come in to us to surrender those license plates?
Not all the time. Sometimes dealers just decide they're going out of business and they're supposed to notify dealer services first so that we can go through the drill of the documentation that they need to sign and make sure they dispose of their inventory, et cetera, et cetera. So we don't always know. Sometimes they just disappear and decide they're going out of business and then we have to try to track them down.
Well, I would suggest that if we do start canceling license plates at the tax collector's office, that we have to put some type of reason code in there, and that if that, I don't know how you would wanna handle it, but,
That was part of the criteria, that there would be some type of documentation of why. It wouldn't be just you drop them off.
right.
So that's already was factored into the
And then
mindset.
somehow it is associated with the dealer's license.
Yeah, and it would be in the system, so the
So that
regional
way,
office could see it in Orion.
they could look and see, what's this dealer doing, because I'm sure there could be some naughtiness go on with this. So that you could have, that you could look and see what's going on. Are they
Right.
constantly turning one in, replacing, or whatever?
Yeah, even if the system shows the dealer is out of business somehow, and then it would be valid for them to turn in their dealer plate because the license is expired or canceled, revoked, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So are you saying in that instance, you'd be okay with the tax collectors accepting those plates as well?
Yes, because once we have a status of the license being expired or canceled or revoked, then the dealer plates are really null and void anyway, they just need to be returned back to the state.
And not allow us to take it until the flag is somehow put on there that they're going out of business or to revoke or whatever.
Either that way or the other way around, where they would get notified whenever one gets.
Just somehow so we both know what's going on with the situation.
Any other questions?
Yeah, you mentioned that you were gonna capture the number of plates a dealer may have based on their coverage. Will that allow for a dealer to have multiple coverage at a given time, and that whatever that maximum number is, will it reflect all the dealer's coverage?
The plan is to be able to document that the dealers, they come in and they have X amount of coverage, which allows them, say, 10 plates. If during that renewal period, a determination is made that they need more plates, then they bring in additional coverage. We built in the ability to add an additional policy, which says now the dealer can have 15 plates, or however many plates it is. So it'd be the 10 plus the 5 or what have you, and that will be noted. So when they go to the tax collector's office to apply for, additional plates, they'll be able to do so. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, you're gonna allow for multiple policies.
Right.
Okay, yes.
Any other questions?
Any additional questions?
Not a stack on, but in addition to. Meaning
Right.
The 15 is not gonna be another 15 on top of it.
No, unless the new policy allows for 15 more. Like if you started off with 10 and then you bought a policy that obviously if it said 15, it probably was more valuable than the 10 policy. So whatever that policy says you can carry.
Lieutenant, but what my question is based upon, and this is primarily, if not exclusively, franchise dealers. Many of them have 2 or more garage liability policies. One that they purchase themselves and one that is provided by the manufacturer. The manufacturer provides the garage liability to handle recalls for vehicles so they can give out loans. So they're gonna have two different GLI policies, but the dealer will be named on both of those policies. One is just purchased by the manufacturer.
Just for informational purposes, sorry, I was in the dealer advisory board meeting a few weeks ago, and I know that this topic was widely discussed. It's a little beyond maybe what I can add to the conversation, but it might be good to kind of follow up with some of the minutes from that meeting, because I know that this specific topic was discussed at length in that meeting. So I'm just kind of throw that out there.
Dealer advisory?
Yes, ma'am.
Any additional questions? Any other questions? Art, did you have one?
Yes, the last one is for the registration team. We would like to request to see if the tax collector's offices would be able to provide the antique vessel decals from their office. This isn't the yearly sticker that they get, this is just the one that they can come into the office and their vessel is now 30 years old, they can get the fancy antique decal. There's no fee for it, but currently they fill out the form in the tax collector's office and they give them a copy of it and they mail it up here to the department, and then the department mails them their decal with a letter. Well, we would like the tax collector's office, if it's okay for them to give out the decal on the counter, so they don't have to come up here, it's just better customer service. Like I said, there's no fee for this decal, and if they're, changing it to EA, and from what I understand, they have tons of these, so we'd be able to disperse them through all the counties and everything, and maybe Jessica handle it in her inventory like she does the color decals for like mobile homes and vessels. They're not inventory, but you could, if you needed more, you could get them from the department. So we were just wondering if the tax collectors would like to do that instead of having it done through the state.
I'm fine with it.
So is that something we need to maybe give you time to discuss also with others, or and then just come back?
What do you think?
I don't see a
I don't
problem.
think we have a
I don't see a problem with it.
Sherry,
from them, but I mean, you would get, even more, you would get them from.
You would be able
the
to order them,
inventory, right.
Like our backing details.
Right, right,
Yeah.
like the color decals.
Is there any history on this while that's, you would think that this would already come up and settled years ago, but do you have any history on it?
No, other than they always, the department has issued them and they have drawers and drawers of these decals. Like I said, they only do like, you don't have to get it, it's just if you want it, it's a free decal you can put on your vessel.
I didn't even know it was a letter.
Yeah, and not everyone wants it, but, like I said, I did research to see how many they did every day, and they said they do about 10 a day. So I don't think it's gonna be a huge deal, but if the tax collector is giving out, changing it, the use to EA, and, doing the no fee, they might as well be able to give the sticker if they want the sticker right there with the letter.
Any other questions or comments on this item? Okay. All right. Project update, Nathan is on the call.
Hi, good afternoon. So you should have the spotlight report. The spotlight report shows all 15 being at 100% for requirement validation. So all the teams have closed out their requirement validation tasks that we've been working on over the last year. The team we're working on now is cleaning up for final baseline of the phase 2 requirements as we transition into development. We're continuing with estimation, which will lead into release planning. Still planning to start development in September. So a lot of the activities are related to transitioning from the requirements validation activities into development, the start of development and test activities. So we're setting up environments, doing some of the initial plant material setup work to start development in September. So in the next couple of months, we'll be presenting a new design for the spotlight report, which will reflect more of the development, the testing, the refinement, the requirement refinement, and the business actions that we track while we're actually doing development and testing sprint. In the future, the format of this will change. So just as a heads up, we scheduled the next all-hands meeting for phase 2 for Thursday, July 25th. That will not coincide with an on-site visit from the tax collector SMED and the field office SMED. We typically like to schedule this at the same time. We weren't able to do that for various reasons, but there will be a dial-in, and we're encouraging all team members to participate in that on Thursday, the 25th. So that invite has gone out. Are there any questions related to overall program status?
Okay, no questions. Then next on the agenda is the OCM update, correct?
And that is, slide 5 is the phase 2. And that is that the OCM team is drafting the schedule now for the phase 2 organizational change management program. And the team did its first review of that schedule on July 1st. And then it also started to identify the OCM deliverables for phase 2. So that now is in progress for the organizational change management plan. So that's the only update on organizational change management, unless anybody has any questions.
Okay. There's no communication update, so this time any questions?
Yeah, at our last meeting, I mentioned to Kristen that she was facilitating the meeting. The issue was brought up about making the cashiering system that's being developed in phase 1 available to the prospective users in phase 2, so they can get an early look at it and when that might occur. And so I was really just following up to say, is that known yet?
Chad, I'm not here, but the cashiering system that we're developing for phase 1 is the same for phase 2, so what, specs out to the IT coalition, should be following the same specs with whatever inclusion of items as far as it would be needed to cashier. Is there any additional stuff that we would need to include? I'm asking Judy, Chad, anything additional in the spec that we would need to add?
There might be some operations that we
Right.
have to add, but as
Well,
far
we
as
don't know yet,
communicating
yeah.
with it would be the same technically, so I mean, it would be
Yeah.
a first look from a technical perspective.
Yeah, and we still have meetings being scheduled that we're gonna have to schedule with Joe, or whoever the IT chair is, once we come up with those additional items. But the technology, the process is the same, which is one thing that we told the IT coalition, as far as when we started this. So unless there's something else that's going on there, it's the same solution, should not be a different solution other than any additional fields or whatever we may need to add for phase 2.
Well, that's our understanding as well. The issue is when can those stakeholders see whatever it is you're proposing? That's just like whenever it's ready for
From
public review.
from my understanding, we have given the stakeholders that I know of the cashiering specs, the additional fields, I don't know yet that we'll need for cashier. We don't have those developed. But the specs have been given to the IT coalition. If there are additional stakeholders I need to give it to, let me know, we'll give it to them.
Well, okay, I can tell you at this point, I know license plate agencies are interested in seeing it because a number of them use third-party cashiering. So they're interested in seeing what the new solution is going to look like to determine whether it's going to have any impact on their current operation.
Yeah, and I thought we had provided those, but we have not. I'll make sure we do that. Yeah, and we will need.
No one that I've talked to got it,
Then
and everyone is,
that is definitely something we need to do. Yeah. We'll get something scheduled and talk to them because there will be some changes, so.
We owe Joe a follow-up meeting anyway, so this will be.
Yeah, and we've been mainly doing that through the IT coalition, so we need to make sure that they have it as well. And I thought that we had done that, so I'll make sure that we do.
well, I'm not sure that private agencies are represented in.
Through the IT coalition.
Correct.
Right.
That's where the disconnect is.
Right, right.
So yes, and they're not asking you to do anything different other